Oh,
I don't know.
let's talk.
Okay.
People want to hear. I don't know what we got to say.
What's your title on this one?
Big deals, small deals, it's all profit.
That's true.
So I bought these stamps because I included those stamp books that I bought yesterday.
Mm-hmm. That was yesterday?
Or 2 days
Yeah,
ago. So
I
I
saw
bought
them
them 2
one day.
days ago. They sold overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I was thinking to...
$100.
Well, originally I was thinking just to sell them individually, like $20 a pop or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the average. And then we combined them for $99.
It sold right away.
The guy off... Well, this was his offer. He says, I want only 2 books. Because 2 of them look like they're sealed, he says, on your pictures.
Because there's a packet of stamps in the folders.
Yeah.
It wasn't the books, it's the stamps, I think.
So, and he said, I'm willing to pay $60 for those 2 books if you're willing to separate, or I'm going to risk $85.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to buy them all if you sell them to me for $85. So I'm like, take them all, you know?
Yeah.
But this was the thing. With the stamps before, we never did anything good.
Mm-mm. No, but these are different. These aren't like real, well, they are real stamps. But they're collector stamps. They're, put out for the collector. They're not like real stamps that circulate.
Right, and that book talks about all the stamps, I think, and every book it was talking about those stamps, the history, and blah, blah, blah. So
right.
Obviously,
okay, because I'm going to buy some stamps tomorrow. They're released tomorrow. There's a special stamp set coming out. I'm actually going to go to the post office and buy them.
Seriously?
I am.
You collect stamps?
No.
So why?
Because of who they're putting on the stamp.
Who is it?
Mr. Rogers.
Really?
Yes, they're having a commemorative.
How long it's been since Mr. Rogers?
Since he died?
Yeah.
2003. Yes, that's it. Still.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I love him. So I'm buying a sheet of stamps, maybe 2. 20.
Are they actual stamps that you can use, or these
They're
are
real
just,
stamps,
no,
yes.
they're real stamps.
Yeah, they are, but I'm not using them. I may use them, but I need to keep some too. I love Mr. Rogers.
I was never a big fan of
Neither,
Mr. Rogers.
Oh my God, why?
I don't know.
Oh.
How that song go? In the neighborhood, something?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Really? Why weren't you a fan? Your
I
kids
don't
didn't grow
know.
up with Mr.
No.
Rogers? Oh,
No.
so sad.
Maybe
Yeah.
because every time I heard his voice,
You didn't like it?
I'm
Well, you
sorry,
didn't-
I'm gonna say that. Maybe I'll cut this out later.
Oh, yes, you will. Don't say it.
He was like a
Oh! Back it up. Oh, sorry.
with that little cute face and
No,
his
no,
voice.
no,
and-
no. You didn't watch enough. He's just very mild-mannered. Oh, sweetest person ever.
I'll take it back. This
Yeah.
was a joke.
Yeah. No. He is the most wholesome. His whole life dedicated to bringing children up with a good work ethic, or
Right.
to inspire them for the arts, because half the show was about inspiring children if they were talented in musicians, in musicianship, and then the other half was the factories. Not
Yeah.
everybody's an artist, not everybody's a musician, but then you get a regular job.
It's probably, I don't think I ever watched one single full episode.
There you go. You
But the
didn't.
problem is, I think that the guy never, when I started listening to him,
Yeah.
I could never relate really, and his voice bugged me.
Oh.
So after 5 minutes, I would turn it off. That's why maybe my kids never watched it.
Because you just didn't put it
I
on.
don't like him.
Oh, you would. Oh, you would if you actually.
And he also reminded me of a guy. We had a similar show when I was a kid, back in Poland, and the guy was called. He was one of those guys that he would bring every Monday. There was a show for kids, and he had a slot for 10 or 15 minutes on that show that he would teach you to build something out of nothing.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
And he reminded you of that?
That like an 80-year-old kid could create it on his own
Yeah.
and make it, and he would show you how to do it.
Okay.
Okay, and every time I watched that show back in Poland, it was super boring. That guy,
Oh.
it was and he reminded me of him, and I was
He shouldn't. He shouldn't remind you of him. But right now there's a marathon.
What do you mean marathon?
It's streaming on Twitch, which is a streaming channel.
All right, we're not
And they're all
supposed to
on.
be promoting Twitch on YouTube here.
Oh, it's true. But anyway, no, I'm just saying that these are on. I don't know why I have no volume, but oh, this looks like a yo-yo guy. He's gonna do the yo-yo.
How come there's no volume?
I have no idea. Oh, it's
It may
muted.
take lots of practice. How you stretch it. How you
See, I
stretch
hear
it
that
first.
voice.
Take a deep breath.
That's him. That's his voice. That's not Mr.
No,
Rogers.
I just heard Mr. Rogers for a second.
His voice is weird.
Well, I've been playing with balloons for a long time.
And that little tie and that sweater.
I still love him, and I'm buying stamps tomorrow. I love Mr. Rogers. I love Mr.
How long
Rogers.
his show was on?
I think it started
30
when I was
years?
a little kid.
30, 40 years? Forever.
When I was a kid, and through it actually
80s?
it was on through the 90s. It
It
was,
was
on.
on through 90s?
It was on through. It was on in 2003. It actually was on until
Really?
Sage was 4.
See, I never paid attention.
But I mean, they
to
lessened the episodes. It wasn't on as much as it was when my older kids were young.
Yeah.
I bet these viewers here, they don't know I have a lot of kids.
this.
Because, you know, how would they know this?
That's true.
Yeah.
But
But
we
so-
are not here to talk about family. We are here to talk about... What are we talking about?
eBay.
eBay?
I'm going to lower my volume now. Yes, eBay. I bought some really cool Mr. Rogers stuff on eBay. Oh,
Really?
yeah. Never mind. Yeah, I bought some rare stuff over the years. eBay can be really good for rare things that don't exist except the single.
Well, that's
One
absolutely the best platform for
Yeah.
that. That's, I think, that's
Yeah.
why eBay existed for so many years
It
and
did.
still thrives in that category.
That's
for all
why
the
I got
collectibles.
into yes for collectibles, not for how it has evolved into
Yeah, made in
a
China.
marketplace. You
Yeah.
know. It's different now.
I think eBay made a big mistake in the early 2000s when they did allow the Chinese market open up so big,
Mm-hmm.
and anybody could sell from China.
Mm.
And these tchotchkes,
Right.
well, not tchotchkes,
Well, no, it's
but
flooded with
crap,
a lot of yeah. I was
just
thinking
crap, you know.
That. Right.
But still, I mean, if you want to find that rare
Mm-hmm. That's the place
item,
to go.
that's the place to go.
I've gotten a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So of course I started out as a buyer.
Well, everybody did, I
Yeah.
think.
Maybe. Did you buy a lot before you started
Mm.
selling? Did you buy anything?
I did buy quite a bit of old fishing lures.
Okay.
That was the place to go.
Right.
I mean, late 90s, you know, I would be doing a lot of garage sales, but you can only find so much. And then you go, you
Mhm.
know, and I'm like,
There it is.
I got 3 of these. I need the 4th one. I've been looking for 2
Mhm.
years. You can't find it. You go on eBay, you find it. Yeah.
There it is. Yep.
No, but we're not saying here anything new.
Doesn't have to be.
We don't have a topic, really, guys. I'm sorry. We're trying to. This is a first podcast. We're trying to figure out what to really talk about.
Well,
This is
eBay.
obviously not a live show, so we don't have a chat. People asking questions. Maybe we'll do that in the future,
Yeah, we'll
but
figure it out.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But
Good thing this isn't live. We
why?
can edit out all the little fights we have.
We don't have many fights.
We
I
may.
have- Do I ever fight with you?
No.
We argue sometimes about certain things, but not a fight.
No, of course not. No.
Um,
No.
and if it's a fight, it's usually a healthy fight. But you do fight a lot with Adrian.
No, he fights with me.
He fights with everybody. That's his character. That's what he does.
He also makes me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
He fights with me, he yells at me, and then
Believe-
later he's really sweet.
Believe it or not, a lot of people, and we read the comments all the time on the videos, everybody thinks that Adrian is like an ass, like, you know, hardcore, and he's actually extremely funny guy.
He's really, really funny.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh. I
His-
told him today, thank you for making me laugh.
His comments sometimes will just
He's
crack you
hysterical.
up like there's no tomorrow,
He's
you know?
really, really funny.
Yeah.
Yes, and even when he's fighting with me, he's being funny.
Yeah.
He's making me get. I think it's funny for him to see me get
Well,
riled up.
I mean, I'm sure you feel it that way. We are totally opposite. Both
You
of
are
us.
totally opposite.
You
You
know?
are. I've said this from the beginning. You are the
I'm a pessimist for sure.
No, you're
No,
an
I'm an
optimist.
optimist, and he's a
a
pessimist.
pessimist,
Yes.
completely.
Yeah. So that's why I think our business works very well.
You guys
Both
will
of
pick
us-
up the same item. You will pick this up and say, "We are going to make $100 on this." Adrian will say, "Throw it in the garbage, Victoria." So I have not listed it because I don't know what to do. But it's true.
But it
The
works very
opposite,
well.
yeah.
We fill in each other very well. A lot of decisions, tough decisions, it helps us make because, I'm
You have
always.
to balance each other.
Yeah. I'm always thinking, sky is no limit,
Right.
and he'll ground me. And he's like,
Yes.
Pete, that makes no sense. And then he's gonna say that 3-4 times, and I'll think about it, and he's like, yeah, he's right.
Okay.
So
That is true. Very optimistic, but that's really good because you can't be too pessimistic. I'm very conservative. I'm not going to
Yeah.
spend a lot to make a lot, but you really can't make a lot if you don't.
well, you know
Spend a
me,
lot.
I take risks.
You take
all day
risks,
long,
right?
all day
you
long
do.
on everything.
You do.
It's just that's
He's
my
a risk
nature.
taker too. He is, but in different ways.
Yeah, in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think that makes the business interesting and different every day. You have to be a risk taker. You can't be.
Especially when there's few of us, right?
Mhm.
Working with each other here, so it's not, but sometimes it's funny too, especially with Ryan up front. Peter told me this.
Oh, yeah.
Adrian told me this.
Exactly.
Or, like, you two, you need to get on the same page because he told me this and you told me this,
All it
and I
happens
don't know what to
all
do.
the time. All the time.
Yeah. So.
You'll tell me free shipping. Do this free shipping.
And then he's
And
gonna
later
scream, "Who did the free shipping on this?"
And I'm like, oh, I did what Peter told me to do, or I did what you told me to do, Adrian, and then, So we should just have the camera rolling all the time, and then we just play it back and say, "See, you told me
Yeah.
to do it." But no, that wouldn't be very fun. When you're out looking through things, do you ever stop and think, "I better not buy this. Vicky's gonna be mad at me"? Does it ever cross your mind that Vicky won't like this?
No,
No. Okay.
no, I don't think I ever.
Do you think of any of it like this won't work?
I mean, all the time. The main thing when I'm going through stuff, the price has to be right, obviously.
Mhm.
But I always think about shipping.
Exactly.
I always think about shipping. How long it's gonna take me to pack it?
Okay. So your first thought is the difficulty in packing it.
Right.
Okay.
Even
and the
though
cost.
we packed some weird crap here
Yeah.
all the time, but I still, if the money's there, then I'm like, okay, is it worth for me to spend 20 minutes or half an hour
Yeah.
packing this difficult item?
So that makes me think you avoid fragile things, glass, things that are likely to get damaged.
Well, there's a lot of things that I avoid that I think are cool because I just don't know enough about them.
Right.
Especially glass.
Glass
I don't
is
know
hard.
squat.
Right. Right.
And that market changes all the time because
Does.
it's so collectible that you
Right.
gotta know the trends. So,
Mhm.
but for example, when I walk in through the store, I will hit like 3 or 4 main sections that I'm interested in. Right? I'm always gonna hit the electronics
Mhm.
because it's not only fun for me,
You know
but
a
I
lot.
know a lot
Right.
about that field. Then I'm gonna hit a section of furniture because I just enjoy it. I like it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna buy
Right, but you
anything
look.
because I look because something might pop that might be interesting.
Mhm.
Clothing for me, it's hit and miss. I will always hit some racks,
Okay.
but it's like
Don't spend too much time on it.
exactly. I spent 5 minutes in clothing
Right.
and I'm shaking. I need to
Oh.
move on. It's too much.
It's too much.
Going
It
for
is.
me, it's
It
just
is.
like
But you could see the rack, and sometimes you look
Well,
at
yeah.
the fabric, something jumps out at
Sticks
you.
out, yeah.
Then you look at it, and you can make a quick
I
decision.
definitely go completely to hats.
Okay.
If there's 50 hats laying,
Go to the hats.
I'm going through all of them, and they're falling down, and I'm picking them up because
Okay.
I look for hats for myself.
You like hats. That's
I like
cute.
hats, but then I also look for hats to resell as well. I
Right.
mean, we sold many hats over
Very
the years.
many, yes. They sell.
They
Yeah.
sell, and they're easy to pack, easy
Mhm.
to ship, easy to store.
Okay, so that's a good thing, and I would never think to look at hats when I was out shopping.
So-
Right.
I'm trying to think if it's something that I say to myself, I will never pick this up.
I would think. I bet you do, because we've had things that didn't work out well, and you're like, never again. Not buying that.
That's true. I'm trying to think of something right now.
I know. I can't think right now either. Oh, I know. Probably the things that remind you of ice cream. Those thermal carafes. Those carafes. Remember, we had a few of them. They took forever to sell.
I can't think of it.
I
You
can't
have
remember
a
the
little
name of
blog
them.
session or something
Yes.
here?
How can we help you, Ryan?
Well, Jake is here to collect on his consignment.
Oh, I guess we're gonna take a break because I gotta do payout. All right, so I'm back. We can actually talk about this transaction. What happened here?
Okay.
It's an interesting sale, and we don't do many consignments here. We
Right.
don't.
No.
Very few, unless it's something a bigger ticket item. And this is exactly what happened with this unit. So we bought this. It's a bending machine for mufflers, I think. It bends pipes for mufflers for underneath the car, so the body shop can make their own product from different pipes. I think this was 20 years old?
Oh God, it looked so old. I would think it was older than that.
I don't think. 20, 25
know.
years old.
Huge, heavy,
Huge,
with all
heavy.
these dies.
The machine was about 1,500 pounds. Very heavy. Came on cast iron wheels. I mean, just heavy duty, big. As big as
This laying down. I mean, like.
yeah, huge.
Yeah.
I mean, huge.
Yeah.
So we listed the machine, how much? $4,500.
That much? Okay.
45.
Okay.
We had some interest here in the shop, but no serious buyers. We were hoping to sell this locally, and it didn't. It sat here for a couple of weeks, and then you listed it.
Not that long. Right. I mean, it actually sold pretty fast.
But first, for a couple of weeks, it sat here. We didn't have any serious offers. We advertised locally,
Here.
and finally, Adrian told you to list it.
Huth pipe bender. It's right here, $37.50.
Yeah, so we had it for 4,500. The guy made us an offer of, I think, 3,000. We came back at him at 4,000, and then we settled at 37.50. He was from central Minnesota,
Okay.
so he sent out a driver. Took him 10 hours to get here. So he might have been even upper Minnesota somewhere. Anywhere, he said it was a 10-hour ride. Came here, we barely loaded on a. He came in here with like a car hauler kind of
Ooh.
trailer,
Okay.
which was actually very high. We couldn't use the ramps at the beginning. We had to manufacture this crazy ramp with Adrian to push this thing in.
You did it.
We did it. We put it on. He strapped it, and we accidentally forgot to give him one box of parts that was
Okay.
coming with.
Right. It had all these bins in the pictures that I set. in
Yeah,
front.
but there was like a one smaller black bin that for some reason we had it sitting to the side. It wasn't with the whole. I don't know if somebody moved it or what. The guy left. 3 hours later, we realized, holy shit, we got.
Right, and then you have to send it.
So I actually managed to cram all this stuff that was into large flat rate box, which is only up to 70 pounds,
Okay.
and it was actually like 73 pounds total. So I just took out some random screws that were under that looked like they were for nothing,
Right.
tossed them out, and
Good idea.
And I end up being 69 and a
Oh
half
my God,
pounds.
that's awesome.
But
But
it
the
was so
boxes
heavy.
aren't real strong.
No, they're not. But what I did,
Reinforced with tape.
I did, but I also did like an insert inside on all the walls from another box, so it made it stronger.
Good. And it
So
got
anyway,
there fine.
It got there fine. But 3 days go by. Now, when we do a consignment with somebody here, and especially on something this expensive, we will not pay for 30 days.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay?
Sure. You have to
Unless
make
we
sure.
did a lot of business with somebody and we know. Because we want to make sure
Everything's fine.
everything's fine, there'll be no returns, any issues, and then we're going to pay out after 30 days.
Okay.
Well, guess what? 3 days go by,
Problem.
there's a problem with the machine.
Mm.
We were, the consignor who gave us the machine guaranteed the machine 100% that it works, blah blah blah. So now, what happened to it? Something with the hydraulics that it's designed there for bending. Something got messed up. Now it could have happened in a transport. You know, I mean, 10 hours on a
Right.
trailer, banging, whatever. Something could have happened. Or maybe it was already broken from
Right.
the beginning, and the owner wasn't very clear about it, or maybe he didn't know about it. Anyway,
Right.
the problem cost $557 to fix. Now we know the guy wasn't playing with us because he actually sent us an invoice
Okay.
from the company.
So he
That fixed
contacted the
it for him.
company. Okay.
Yeah, the company came out, fixed whatever had to
Okay,
be
so it's
fixed.
fine.
Bill was $557, so we gave him a refund of that.
Ah.
That's why we don't
Okay.
pay for 30 days
Okay.
to the consignor. So we did the refund, and of course, you know, on a $500, almost $600 refund,
Yeah.
you want to do it through eBay so you get your money back for the
Exactly,
fees.
of course.
That's like $70.
Right.
Because I think on that particular machine the fees were 11% plus PayPal 3%.
Right.
So we did that. The case was closed, and the guy who just walked in here a minute ago, that's the consignor, and I just paid him out on the machine.
So actually, everyone's happy.
Everyone's happy, but it's just, you know, you got to always think about consigning stuff
Right.
that it's always on you
Mm.
as a
Right.
seller on eBay.
Right.
You're going to pay out something, 2 weeks later somebody can come back to you and say, hey,
Right. But what if he decided he didn't want to keep it and didn't want to repair it? That would have been much worse.
it would have been a nightmare actually. Because
Right.
remember, it's 10 hours away.
Ooh.
Now we called eBay.
Mhm.
Adrian called eBay about that situation because first when he contacted us, we went, holy shit, this thing is coming
Right.
back. Who is going to pay now
Right.
to get this back? And you know what eBay said?
Hmm.
Since this is a local pickup, you are not responsible. He has to bring it back.
Ooh, okay.
He
that
picked
makes-
it up, he's got to bring it back.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So maybe he didn't want to do that, and the machine
well,
was
he wanted the
repairable.
machine,
Okay.
and I guess the bill was low enough that, you know.
It was okay. Actually, that is not a terrible bill when you consider it. You know,
But now, if the bill was like
then it would
$1,500,
have. Yeah. No.
then I would probably tell him to bring it back.
Then you give it back to the person who brought
And
it.
I give it back to the person now. But he, as a customer, the guy who bought it in Minnesota, would be very upset, really, when you think about it.
Sure, because he drove all the way here twice. That would be
Well,
horrible.
he didn't drive himself. He sent his employee.
Right, but he had to pay the employee and all the
Employee,
gas,
exactly.
everything, and time.
So
But it worked out. So
It worked out.
So see, that's what I mean. You're a risk taker. That's a
but
big risk.
that was actually Adrian's deal.
Ah.
It wasn't my deal. I
Okay.
didn't want to pick this machine up.
Really?
And I tell you why. Because it was so damn heavy and
Yeah.
I just didn't want to.
Oh, I know. Even
Mess
taking
with it.
pictures of it, I couldn't
Yeah.
really move it.
It was just
was hard.
massive. Although it was just 5 minutes away from our shop, but still.
But you know what? It sold fast, and it must be a super expensive machine new.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a good deal.
So, and if you guys are curious, what was the split on that?
I'm
After-
curious. I don't even know.
No?
No.
So, the guy that, he does a lot of business with us. It wasn't directly Marty,
Ah, through
donut
Marty.
guy.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was through Marty,
Okay.
one of his employees that shops here a lot too.
Oh.
So we do a lot of business with them back
Okay.
and forth. It's a very healthy relationship.
Right.
So normally when we would take something like this, it would be 50-50. No question asked. After all the fees are paid, everything is done, it's 50-50. In this case, he ended up, so the deal after the return and all the fees was like $2,750, I think.
Okay.
$2,700. He took 18, we took 9.
Okay.
So,
That's okay.
yeah.
You made money. He's happy.
Yeah.
It's resolved.
So,
So you have to take a risk sometimes.
yeah. Yeah, but it was interesting. But we don't do a lot of consignments. They're
No.
just painting about.
Right.
Don't do consignments with the family for sure. Screw that.
Ooh.
That's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad because you are responsible till the end. 28 days later, somebody wants to return. You
Yeah.
already paid your family,
Right.
whatever, and
Right.
now you got to take the return. It's always a mess.
Yeah.
And then you're knocking on the door. Hey, Billy, this came back. Give me my $28.
But then it's just awkward. You
Yeah.
don't want to go there.
So if
So-
you're gonna take risk, I think it's only worth it on high ticket items.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
I agree.
So
I agree. So that was Adrian's risk.
yeah.
Okay, so what do you think was your biggest risk as far as making a deal goes? Did it work out or was it a flop?
I mean, the last deal that we made with those cosmetics, that was a
Yeah.
pretty big risk
It was, but it worked out.
so
We
far.
already know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big risk. I remember that day.
So
You were all pumped up, and I was like, "Oh no!"
well, because this wasn't $100 buy,
Right.
thousands of dollars invested, and and you got to sit on this stuff. But luckily, we had the right buyers quickly for
Right.
a certain amount of stuff.
So
Got
see?
our money back, and now everything that it's selling, it's profit. So
Right. So okay, so right now risk category is in our favor.
yeah, I can't say this was a calculated risk because it wasn't for sure. But at least on few right away, we knew that we're gonna have some bites. Because the way we played it, we invested a little bit at the beginning. We did a trial run.
Right, that's
had-
right. You had a small quantity.
We had couple bites
Yeah.
quickly. We had couple contacts quickly. Do you have more? And as soon as I heard more, okay, now I'm going in.
and
big.
then we did have several people. It's not just one person.
Right.
So
right.
you know it's a good product.
Well, but it's
Well, it is selling. We haven't.
it's always good also having, and it helps a YouTube channel like that because it spreads the word quickly.
Right.
You guys don't even know how much business we get from a YouTube channel. Quite a bit. I mean, there's quite a bit of people that contact me constantly. The few sales, the big boxes I shipped out of these cosmetics too from viewers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, I mean it's
Okay.
it's constantly working. So it's
Okay.
not only entertainment and fun;
Right.
it's turning into being a part of the business.
Well, it's like getting a sneak preview though, because eBay. If you are looking for something, what are the chances you're going to find it before somebody else?
Yeah.
If it's a buy it now, it's gone. People watching, it's
Well, and it
Gives them
works.
a heads up.
Works both ways. Because I made so many deals that people saw also. A shop, what's going on? They see it's a legit business, and I get a phone call. Pete, I have 3,000 LPs for sale.
right.
Can you come? Or I have this and this. Can you come? So it's all of a sudden it's creating quite a bit of an opportunity, especially within the last year or so. I had a lot of interest just from running the YouTube channel, so it's been very interesting. Why is this flashing? I'm running out of memory, I think.
Oh,
Is it? Okay. What was, question for Vicky, what was the first year you sold something on eBay?
1998.
98? So just right after they started, pretty much. They
Yeah.
started what, 96?
Might be. I'm not sure. I know it had been going a little
Yeah,
while.
96, I think.
Yeah, it was 1998 when I made my first listing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a big deal because just to learn the photo hosting, we used.
Hello, Milo.
I think I was on AOL at the time. Yeah, there was the FTP space. You had.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was so different.
What do you still remember? What was it?
It was at first it was AOL.
No, but first item that you sold.
Ooh. No, I don't remember.
I'm trying to think.
What was the first? It was probably a doll. It was probably one of my collection dolls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know your dolls, that's for sure.
It was probably a doll.
What are the little ones called?
The little kittles. I'm sure it was a kittle, but I don't really sell kittles. It was probably I bought some, and then I had duplicates. Now I would probably just keep them, but
When
it was just to recoup. I probably spent $300 or something, and then I had to make it back.
So what do you think? over 20 years ago,
Completely
how
different.
different it is.
Completely different.
It was a wild, wild west before.
It was. I mean, look at. Snap, snap, and you're done. You
Yeah.
know, back then you had to have photo
And you-
hosting and.
You're not waiting for that money order to come in.
Right.
People
Oh,
would
I
send
remember
cash
that.
in an envelope.
Yeah, I did get
I
cash
remember.
sometimes.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I sold like a old. It was probably already early 2000s, so maybe like 2001, 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I sold this old Milwaukee drill, and the guy paid in cash.
Wow.
Sent it in an envelope.
I got cash once in like a like a certified mailer. I opened it up and all these hundreds fell. Oh my God.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's changed.
But yeah, why would somebody send cash? But I mean, I've gotten cash in regular envelopes too. But the one time it was like certified, and I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
No.
So between, like, let me ask you this: if I know you list here right all day,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure it becomes
Yeah,
boring,
yeah.
but you ever list anything at home anymore?
Since I've been here, I have listed like 3 things. That's it, 3 times.
That's it.
A couple months ago, I listed a few things.
Because I know there was one moment I remember you talking about it about a year ago or something, that you had a bunch of stuff and that you were
Lot
gonna
of stuff.
list and blah blah blah. Whatever happened with
I
that?
did list for like a month, and then it stopped. It probably was a year ago. We listed some stuff. I say we, but I did it.
Yeah.
I think Richard just gathered some things for me, because actually he's like a collector of things.
Right.
And it's just kind of too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I listed just like for one, I call it a session, like 3 times I listed
I
over
can
the course
tell.
of a few weeks.
Richard is a collector by heart.
Yeah.
It's in his veins.
Yeah.
He loves that. He
Yeah.
loves hunting. He loves.
He doesn't
going-
want to sell anything.
Yeah.
He just wants to buy it and keep it and then buy it again.
I know
Yeah.
he appreciates stuff. He has an eye for sure.
Yeah, he knows stuff.
Because of how long he's been doing his toys. That was
Oh. When I first met him, he had an antique store.
right.
And I remember asking him, "So what do you collect?" And he said, "I collect money." I said, "Really?" He said, "You look at this store and see it as stuff. But I see that's a $20 bill, that's a $20 bill, and that's a $20 bill."
He
But,
still has some of the toys, right?
he didn't just have toys. He had a lot of pottery and glass,
Okay.
and toys. But I wouldn't say he was so much a toy collector as a book collector. He's got a lot of books.
Really.
Yeah. We did, what got me back in selling? Right before I came here,
Mm-hmm.
we had like an expense that I thought, oh, I've got to recoup this money. This is how I think. I don't want it to be my living. I like working for you
Okay.
because you give me a paycheck, right?
Okay.
I don't want to list things and hope it sells to make money. I want to know that I get a paycheck.
I always, because it's funny, one of the biggest reasons when I was doing interviews, and we went through quite a few people here, and I was like really
Oh.
tired of some people. I'm gonna get into this. Why I hired you.
Okay.
And Adrian totally left the hiring part up to me.
Right, I
when
met
it
you.
comes-
I didn't meet Adrian until you already hired
Yeah.
me.
So for me, the biggest thing was that I wanted to feel out a person and know pretty much off the get-go that they're not gonna come in. I'm gonna teach them everything, and 8 months down the road, they're selling on their own.
Ah, but I had already been selling.
So when you told me that you've been selling and you've been doing this and you're very familiar with eBay and I'm like, okay.
She already knows how to do it. Why would she leave?
knows how to do it. We just have to implement some of our own rules that we
Yeah.
like to do. And then you brought a lot of your own stuff on board as well. So I'm like, okay, I know when she comes in, she's not gonna be one of those that she's gonna learn after 6 or 8 months,
No.
and all of a sudden she's drifting and selling on her
No.
own, because that happens all the time.
Really?
And it happened with a couple employees that we had
Oh.
before.
The only way I'd ever do that is if I worked at a restaurant and I got the secret recipe. Then you have it, and then you leave, and then you make it. But no.
So yeah,
Yeah,
because
no,
we
you
had,
didn't have to worry about
we
that.
had this. Well, obviously, I had both of my girls working here for a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. Even in the old shop, Daria not so much, but Alex helped
Right.
a lot. She was listing there quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had this kid. He just graduated high school. His name was Alex, not mistaking with my daughter
Right.
Alex, but and he worked for us for like 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
He was good.
Ah.
He was good. He picked it up, and he had a niche of, how would I say it? He liked old vintage tools, and we had a lot of those being listed, and he learned even more quickly what we were listing, and he loved it.
Ah.
And one day I walked in. He's working 4 months. He's listing something.
He's listing his own stuff.
He's listing his own crap. Okay.
In between listing your
In
stuff.
between hours, he would come in with the backpack, and he would have his own stuff that he
Okay.
would bring in that he
Oh,
found
wow.
garage sailing or whatever.
Oh, he started thrifting too.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he had 2 screens open. Our eBay and his
Oh,
eBay. And in
okay.
between, he would list his stuff.
That's
of course,
funny.
it was all small.
You know what? I have a few things in there that I brought in probably 6 months ago that I've had no time to list.
But,
My
but
own stuff.
But that's when it got. I wasn't like super upset. I
No.
mean, yeah, you're doing this on my time. You know, he would do 1 or 2 or 3
Right.
items. No big deal. But he was so into it. He always would ask
Okay.
questions about certain stuff. So he was into it. I was
Okay.
glad that he was learning.
Right.
But he was learning and using that knowledge to his advantage.
Right.
And after 4 months, he
He
just
left.
said flat out, Pete, it's in the middle of summer. I'm finding great stuff. I'm gonna do this on my own.
Wow. Okay.
And then 2 years later, he came in here because we already moved. We were in this shop here. He came in and he's got like 4,000 items listed.
Wow.
I haven't seen him now for like 3 years, but at that
Okay.
time,
So
he
he
was
kept with
making really good money. He got really
Wow.
good at it.
That's amazing.
So after that happened, I always had that in the back of my mind that
Yeah.
somebody's gonna come in, learn.
you know what?
and leave.
I've done that. I don't want to do that.
It's just
I don't want to
so.
do that. No, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I had been selling for like the summer. I started in November. I started selling after many years of not selling the summer before I came in. And we just found things in the house, Richard and
Yeah.
I, listed everything, sold like $3,000-4,000 over a couple months. And that was great. The best thing that I listed was the first thing I listed.
Well,
It
so
was in the
it gets
closet.
you hooked again.
Yes.
Yeah, because
like if
oh,
the first
boom,
thing
it's
I
so-
had listed, it was what if it was a $20 nothing? It would have whatever. But it was a book that was in the closet, and it was Catcher in the Rye. I think it was a first edition. And Richard said, "Oh, this will go for $100," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." And it went for almost $6.
So you put it on auction?
It was on auction. I never did buy it now.
I know. I love auction. You know, I
Yeah.
love auctions.
Yeah.
And you never do auctions.
I do
So
buy.
that must have went on auction.
I did do it on auction because I didn't know
Yeah.
you yet. Now I understand it. You know, it depends. Some buy it now
Yeah.
works. It just you have to know your stuff.
Yeah.
So this book, I didn't know. I listed it, took nice pictures, you know, auction, and then at the end it's going up, 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 and it went way past $132, whatever, and it ended almost $600.
Yeah.
How did I not know this? But I didn't.
See, but that helps. You know, Richard right away told you. 'cause he
No,
knows
but
books.
Richard thought it would go for $100, and I think he wanted to do it by it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at that point, that was sort of a funny thing because when it went over that amount, he's like, "Oh, well, that's as far as it's going." And we were out, and my phone was going, you know, cha-ching, 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 because all those bids were
Yeah.
coming in at the end. But he said, "Oh, well, that's as high as it's going." And then it went up again and again and again, and he was
See,
floored.
that's another good
So
thing
you,
that we
you
can
don't
talk.
know all the time.
Yeah, we can talk about some auctions
That
on the
surprised
next
you.
episode.
Yeah.
that will
Stuff
surprise
that
you.
really surprises you, that you think you have this gold
Yeah.
and it's not the gold at all. The thing you almost threw out ends
Yeah.
up being the moneymaker.
No.
That's happened many times here too and at home.
Okay.
But yeah,
I think it's time because I know you got to get out of here at
I do.
6:05. So I think I'm gonna try to do some decent editing on this stuff.
okay,
I'm gonna add out the
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers stuff.
Yes,
make
you
this
are.
nice.
okay.
Because you probably won't hear it, guys, because I will edit it out. I said some mean things
Oh,
about
he's doing it again.
Mr. Rogers.
Basically, you're either a fan or you're not.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just bleep it. I'm not gonna like edit out. I'm gonna go. Beep.
You're gonna edit it out because you want me to stay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this is our first kind of podcast. We're shooting off no script.
Right.
We're just. Hopefully that's interesting. Hopefully you can use this as you working, right? Listing and just listen. You don't have to watch our monkey. I'm not gonna say monkey faces. But you don't have to watch us. You can just, excuse me, you can just listen to us in the background as you listing or doing whatever. So
Okay.
appreciate you watching. Till next time. Cheers.